Kodak did not miss the digital camera. That version is too clean. It built the first digital still camera inside its own lab in 1975. The prototype recorded black and white images onto cassette tape, one frame at a time. Each image took 23 seconds to fully appear on screen. To executives, that made it slow. To Kodak, that made it more dangerous. Because the danger was not what the camera could do in 1975. The danger was what it would remove once it became normal for everyone. Kodak was not just a camera company. Cameras were the opening move. The money lived after the picture. Film, chemicals, processing, paper, prints. Digital did not attack the shutter. It attacked the repeat purchase. That is why this file begins with a strange object, the 23-second photograph. Kodak invented the future. The question is why it learned to bury it. Before digital became a threat, Kodak had solved the older problem, making photography feel effortless, repeatable, and ordinary. The customer bought a camera once. Kodak expected to meet that customer every time a picture mattered. By 1976, Kodak controlled about 90% of film and 85% of camera sales in America. Those numbers did not describe popularity. They described control over what happened after the shutter clicked. A snapshot entered a chain: film roll, chemicals, processing counter, photo paper, and prints. Every birthday, vacation, school portrait, and wedding returned to that chain. The camera opened the door. The more ordinary photography became, the more powerful the loop became. Usage itself created demand. This is the missing variable in the simple story. Kodak was not just protecting cameras, it was protecting the repeat transaction customers. Barely noticed because film felt normal. That made digital strange. The first version was too crude for consumers, but impossible to ignore inside Kodak. It took 23 seconds. The image was black and white. The storage was cassette tape. On the surface, easy to dismiss. Underneath, it carried a question no film company wanted answered. What happens when taking the picture no longer requires film, chemicals, processing, paper, or prints? The customer still gets the memory. Kodak loses the transaction that used to follow the memory. That was the stake. Not a product line, not a lab experiment, a repeat purchase machine. The prototype was slow, but slowness was not the risk. The risk was what happened when it got fast. At this point, the easy version starts to form. Kodak saw the prototype and panicked. That version is useful because it gives the story a villain. It is also incomplete. Kodak did not bury digital by refusing to touch it. Kodak spent decades trying to control it. The company built digital imaging products, filed patents, made partnerships, and later sold digital cameras. In 2004 and 2005, Kodak even held leading US digital camera share. That should break the myth. If Kodak went digital and still lost, the missing variable cannot be technology. The missing variable is margin. And margin is where this story stops being simple. Film sold the customer a tiny physical dependency every time the camera was used. A digital camera sold the device, then let the customer leave the chain. That is the mechanism. The old camera opened a transaction. The digital camera closed it. Inside Kodak, this made every digital success double-edged. Good for adoption, dangerous for film. If digital stayed small, film survived. If digital worked, the repeat purchase machine weakened. Steve Sassen's prototype made the future visible before the accounting model had room for it. The first question was not, can this work? The question was, where does Kodak earn after it works? In film, the answer was obvious. Film. Chemicals, processing, paper, prints. In digital, the answer was unstable. Hardware margins, software, kiosks, online printing, patents. Each answer pulled Kodak back toward the old machine. Sell the digital camera, but make it print. Make it share, but sell paper. Make it store, but monetize patents. The company was not blind. It was bargaining with its own replacement. That pattern has a name inside this file: the consumable trap. The durable product gets the customer in. The consumable makes the money. When technology removes the consumable, the company experiences innovation as self-harm. That is why digital could be both an opportunity and a threat in the same meeting. Engineers saw image capture. Executives saw lost rolls of film. Marketing saw a consumer future. Finance saw a margin collapse hiding behind adoption. By the midpoint, this stops being a camera story. It becomes a denominator story. Kodak was not counting pictures. Kodak was counting pictures that required Kodak after the button was pressed. Digital changed that denominator because the photo no longer had to pass through Kodak. It did not just replace film with pixels. It replaced Kodak's repeat transaction with the user's own storage. Kodak could invent the future. It could not make that future pay like the past. The 23-second photograph was not dangerous because it was impressive. It was dangerous because it was early. At first, the machine looked easy to dismiss. Slow image, cassette tape, awkward body, no consumer market. But the file was not asking whether the prototype was ready. It was asking what happened when it was. And that is where Kodak's decision becomes harder than the simple story allows. There was no single moment where the company looked at digital and said no forever. The decision happened again and again, each time with a cleaner spreadsheet. Digital could enter the building. It just had to report back to the old machine. Make the camera digital, but send the image to a printer. Put the photo online, but sell the paper. Build the sensor, license the patent, sell the kiosk, defend the processing counter. Kodak was not burying digital by leaving it untouched. It was burying digital by forcing it to behave like film. That is the consumable trap in motion. The future is allowed to exist only if it keeps feeding the past. For a while, that made Kodak look more prepared than the myth suggests. It sold digital cameras, it held digital camera share, it owned imaging patents. But market share was not the same thing as the old profit pool. By 2011, Kodak said most of its revenue came from digital businesses. In 2012, it entered Chapter 11. That is the part the innovation cliché cannot explain. By the time Kodak became digital on paper, the old profit pool had already moved somewhere else. The question was never whether Kodak could imagine digital photography. It imagined it early. It built it early. It patented pieces of it early. The question was why the company could hold the future and still protect the past. The answer is that digital did not merely threaten a product. It threatened the transaction after the product. Film gave Kodak a reason to be paid every time the customer used the camera. Digital gave the customer the same memory without forcing that second payment. That is why the first digital camera was not just an invention. It was a leak in the system. A camera company can survive a new camera. A consumable machine has a harder problem. It has to replace the money that arrives after the sale. Kodak could sell digital cameras. It could not make every digital picture walk back through Kodak. That is the verdict on the file. Kodak did not fail because it could not see the future. It failed because the future removed the consumable system that made Kodak rich. The consumable trap is not unique to Kodak. It appears whenever the thing a company sells is less important than what customers must keep buying afterward. Razor handles, printer cartridges, game consoles, drug delivery systems, cheap entry point, expensive repetition. The danger arrives when a new technology keeps the outcome but removes the repetition. At that point, innovation stops looking like progress inside the old company. It looks like a revenue warning. The invention did not threaten Kodak because it was weak. It threatened Kodak because it worked. At the beginning, the 23-second photograph looked like a technical curiosity. A boxy camera, a cassette tape, a black and white image moving too slowly to scare anyone. But after the file is opened, the object reads differently. It was not evidence that Kodak missed the future. It was evidence that Kodak met the future early and then tried to make it obey the past. That pattern did not end with film. It appears wherever a company protects the purchase after the product. In another file, the object is not a roll of film. It is the phone in everyone's pocket. The folder closes. The mechanism stays open.